The tropics are live yet again. We've been talking about Harvey and Invest 92L for the past week now. It's been a roller coaster ride. Harvey formed, it died, and now Harvey is strengthening back to a tropical storm. Let's get straight into it about Invest 92L. Invest 92L is getting closer and closer to making a landfall somewhere, and it's looking more and more like South Florida. The National Hurricane Center gives Invest 92L a 20% chance to form within the next 48 hours and a 40% chance to form within 5 days. Invest 92L has two different circulations right now. One really has to step up. The northern circulation definitely has more convection around it, more rain bands, and a little bit of a circulation. The southern part of Invest 92L is also looking modest too. Definitely has some nice convection, but doesn't really have that spin. It used to though, yesterday. Invest 92L, whichever one you choose, everyone is pointing to the northern one. That northern Invest 92L is tracking straight towards South Florida. All the models have Invest 92L tracking straight into South Florida in the next 24 hours. But it doesn't look like it's going to develop into something tropical within the next 24 hours. But there is a but, and here's the but. Invest 92L is going to cross Florida and get into the Gulf of Mexico. When Invest 92L is in the Gulf of Mexico, a cold front is going to pick Invest 92L and make it start to track west or northwest. We still don't know. Yet again, some models have Invest 92L becoming a high-end tropical storm, and some models don't have it developing at all. That's the way it's been the past 7 days. Some models develop it and some models don't. But it's tracking straight into South Florida. But what's interesting is what happens when it crosses over Florida and gets into the Gulf of Mexico, where it could actually truly develop. Maybe a tropical storm Emily scenario? We don't know. The GFS doesn't have Invest 92L developing within the next 72 hours. The European model doesn't have Invest 92L developing within the next 72 hours. And the Canadian model doesn't even have Invest 92L developing at all. It used to have Invest 92L becoming a hurricane, and now it doesn't even develop it. Invest 92L is most likely not going to become anything, but we still have to watch. But it's going to bring rain and thunderstorms to South Florida within the next 24 hours. So we're going to have another rainy day in Miami. But good thing we got to watch the eclipse. Now let's talk about Invest Harvey. Invest Harvey is looking pretty good. It has a whole bunch of thunderstorms and has a nice little spin to it. Invest Harvey is going to make landfall on the tip of the Yucatan Peninsula. And after that, it gets really interesting. Harvey's not going to form before it reaches the Yucatan Peninsula. But once it reaches the open waters of the Gulf of Mexico, that's where things get interesting. Most models have Invest Harvey becoming a high-end tropical storm to maybe even a Category 1 hurricane. And with those good conditions of the Gulf of Mexico, I'm not surprised. And all the models have been taking that northward trend. And that's what you have to look for. You have to look for those trends in the models. And each model has been trending northward and northward. And you know what comes into the mix? Texas. The southern tip of Texas needs to watch Invest Harvey. The GFS has Harvey becoming a hurricane when it makes landfall in Texas. The Canadian model has Invest Harvey becoming a hurricane when it makes landfall on the coast of Mexico, just south of that southern tip of Texas. And the Euro brings Harvey to a tropical storm status and makes it landfall in the southern tip of Texas. So if you're in Brownsville, Texas, Corpus Christi, you need to be watching Harvey closely. This could become a hurricane, and this could become something fierce. It could rapidly strengthen, and you may not even see it because it's not anything right now. But any land interactions other than Yucatan Peninsula is 3 days to 5 days away for Harvey. The National Hurricane Center is giving Harvey a 70% chance to develop within 48 hours and a 90% chance to form within 5 days. Harvey's going to become a tropical storm once again. Just if you're in the southern tip of Texas, watch out. Keep your eye out for Harvey because Harvey's going to become something and you do not want to be in the way of that storm. And if you are in the way of that storm, you got to be prepared. That's enough about Harvey. Let's sum things up pretty quickly. Invest 92L is going to make landfall somewhere in South Florida within the next 24 hours. It's not going to develop, but it's still going to bring rain and thunderstorms to South Florida. It's then going to move over the Florida coast and get into the Gulf of Mexico, where Invest 92L could develop. Harvey is about to enter the Gulf of Mexico, where it's going to make a suspicious track to the southern tip of Texas. Maybe. Harvey's going to develop. It's just a matter of when, right? This is all for your tropical update, and I'll see you in the next one.